finding the right therapist is as important as finding the right medication. And last year I found a therapist, and actually I found one by asking around, and what I found was that some of my friends had seen a therapist too. So the first therapist I saw was privately, and I got recommended her, which was great. She did a 2.5-hour assessment, and then from that she kind of said, well, these are your main issues. You struggle with loneliness, fear, and whatever else it was. But I found it quite amazing because all the things she asked me and exercises she got me to do were really abstract, and we worked really well together for quite a long time. But there came a point where I guess I wanted therapy that was looking more at how I could change my behaviour now and make life work better for me now, and not just go over past events that were painful. I think with that, it's completely necessary to be able to feel what you probably didn't let yourself feel, but also a sad memory, I think, is always a sad memory. So going over it it's not suddenly like, oh great, that was amazing. So I stopped seeing her anyway. She was really helpful, but sort of came a time where I felt like what I'd learned from her had come to an end for that period of time. And my GP was really sweet, because it's expensive getting private therapy. And my GP said, look, I think we should get you some NHS sort of CBT, so that's cognitive behavioural therapy, which is more practical. It kind of is on the theory that your thinking, acting and feelings go together. So if you change two of them, you change. So if you change your thinking and your behaviour, you can change your feelings. Or if you change your feelings and your thinking, you can change your behaviour. So that's quite good. So I saw a lady on the NHS. I didn't actually have to wait too long. I thought she was amazing. She gave me really different insight to the first counsellor, which was also really helpful actually. And she was just very good at weighing up things and handing it back to me and saying, well, look, this is what you're struggling with, in a much more articulate way, and drawing together all the examples I'd given into one overarching theme. But again, like with medication, I had to persevere, because the first therapist I got to see on the NHS was, probably worse than the counsellor I saw when I was at university. I didn't file a complaint about him, but I phoned up the surgery and told them my experience, and actually the nurse I got through to was so sweet. So this guy, again, he kind of looked like what you'd expect a therapist to look like in a film where it all goes wrong. And I went in, and it's in the sort of normal doctor's surgery, so you know how the doctors have the corridor bit and then the main room, and you often sit just by the desk in the corridor and they sit at their desk, but you don't have a need to go into the main room if you're just in there for 5-10 minutes. But this man kind of pointed me to sit down in the chair by his desk, and then moved his chair in front of the door, which I found very uncomfortable. Obviously, actually, that's a really threatening position to be in. And, I have to be honest, and going through my head was like, this is the guy I wouldn't want to meet in a park late at night or down an alleyway anyway. And after 5 minutes of the session, I said, look, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't specify I wanted a woman, but I think perhaps that would be better, so maybe we should draw this to an end. And then he started psychoanalyzing the fact I had problems with men, and saying, oh gosh, well, this is clearly a big area for you, of something we need to look at which point I burst into tears. He insisted I stayed for the session. So I cried for an hour and didn't say anything, and then left and phoned my husband and my friend, who both said it was really bad, and then phoned up the surgery, and they were sort of very apologetic and said that shouldn't have happened. And the nurse I spoke to said she'd have felt very uncomfortable in that situation too. And then I got put through to the NHS counsellor, who was really nice. So I just think from my experience, I've just learned, when you feel like you really don't have courage, you're still going to have situations where people aren't sensitive. Even the professionals, I've got no idea how that man is a counsellor. Absolutely no idea. When someone's coming to you feeling vulnerable, you do not put your chair between them and the door in a really threatening position. And if someone did that in a job interview, you'd think it was odd or sexual harassment. So again, you've just got to persevere, and if you don't click with them, you've just got to say, and I think I wish I'd had someone tell me that, you know, when I was at university. So I just want to share that with you now. And when you do find a therapist who is helpful, it makes such a difference. Pick that up.